Hello and welcome back again to my channel. I want to appreciate you for visiting this channel, and I ask you to do me a favor, subscribe to the channel so that whenever we have any new content you will be notified. Today I want to make a video in response to a message that somebody sent to a WhatsApp group that I belong to. Yes, I want to read that message first, then we'll discuss it. The message says, never feel sad on losing anything in your life, because whenever a tree loses its leaf, new leaf is ready to take its place. Let me take it again. Never feel sad on losing anything in your life, because whenever a tree loses its leaf, new leaf is ready to take its place. So I believe this is a food for thought, and I decided to think about it, and I want us to think about it together. So this moment I want to discuss the issue of losses, coping with losses or dealing with losses. That's what I want to talk about. I believe loss is something we all have to deal with one time or the other. I don't think there's anybody who has not had an experience with losses. Right from our elementary school, we must have had experience of losing a pen, a biro, an exercise book, or a textbook. We may have lost our key, a wallet, a handbag, a purse, or money. We may have lost important documents, ID card, certificates. We may have lost something as serious as a car, a home, a business premise, source of income. We may even have lost somebody, a dear one, a child, a parent, a partner, a friend. So each of us at one time or the other must have lost something. And let's face the fact, losses are not easy. Losses are not easy. When you lose something, it evokes a wide array of feelings and reactions. First of all, there is pain. There is pain when you lose something, as if somebody stabbed you in the heart. In fact, that was how one of my friends reported the loss of his wife. He sent me a text message and he said, "Dagger in my soul. I have just lost the love of my life." So he felt as if somebody stabbed him. He felt the pain. That's exactly how it feels when we lose something that we love, something that is dear to us. Then there is sadness. We feel sad. Losses make us feel sad. Our spirits we sink. We have our heart cast down. Then sometimes there may be anger at somebody, anger at something, maybe anger at people, anger at God, or even anger at ourselves. Sometimes we feel that maybe we contributed, and then there may be blame. We may blame ourselves, we may blame other people. There may be outrage, real outrage. This one is anger taken to a higher degree, serious anger. Then we now come to grief. We begin to grieve our loss. We begin to mourn our loss. This may lead to a sense of emptiness, as if a void or vacuum is created in our hearts that nothing can fill. This will lead to a sense of helplessness and sometimes even to depression. Yes, losses can lead to depression, which is a serious matter on its own. So, why exactly do losses evoke such negative feelings and reactions? There are many reasons. Number one, Loss means separation. When you lose something, you are separated from that thing. Something you are attached to. Something that was close to you. Something that was dear to you. You are suddenly separated from that thing. It's painful. It also means deprivation. When you lose something, you are deprived. What that thing used to mean to you, the services, the usefulness, the utility of that thing, you are deprived of it. You no longer have access. You no longer have the benefit of that thing. That is deprivation, and it is painful. Then also, there's this sense of injustice that you feel when you lose. You feel as if it shouldn't have been so. It shouldn't have been me. Why should it occur? Why should it happen? So that sense of injustice, you are deprived of what you are entitled to. Something you should have, something that is yours, is taken away from you. So that sense of injustice is there. And also the sense of indignation. Indignation. Especially when you feel that that loss was somebody's fault. Let's say your phone was stolen or your wallet was stolen. You feel that indignation or serious anger. Why should somebody do that to you? Or when you feel that the loss was as a result of somebody's mistake or somebody's negligence. Nowadays we are having patients' relatives attacking healthcare workers, even sometimes killing them when they lose a loved ones in the hospital. It's because they feel that this loss was because of a mistake, because of negligence, or because of an error. So there's this indignation and anger. So these are the reasons why loss evoke negative responses or reactions. But let me come to the subject that I want to discuss, which is how to respond. Because the message I read says never feel bad when you lose something. So is that justified? Is that reasonable? And is it necessary to take that line of thought that when you lose something, you should not feel bad? Well, I tend to agree. So I want to talk about how to cope with loss or how to deal with loss. The first thing I will say is acceptance. The first approach to losses is acceptance. Accept it as a fact of life. It is something that we have to deal with one time or the other. Okay? There is nobody that will not at one time or the other experience a loss. In our church, we have a slogan, and that slogan says, no loss, no lack, no limitation. Every year we recite it as our New Year slogan. We try to convince ourselves that this is going to be a year of win-win-win, no loss. But the truth of the matter is that in the course of the year, people will still lose. People will lose things. We will still lose family members. We will still lose church members. We will still lose colleagues, friends. We will still lose things. So losses are inevitable. They will happen. So we have to accept it as a fact of life. Then number 2 has to do with attitude. That we have to have a change of attitude. There is one attitude that the Rotary Club used to adopt when bad things happen, which I think is a good attitude. And that attitude is that it could have been worse. Whatever happens to a Rotarian, he will say it could have been worse. Even though what happened appears to be unpalatable, unpleasant, but the worst could have happened. So that is a good attitude, and it is helpful. When you adopt it, it will help you to cope. Then number 3 is attitude of gratitude. Gratitude. When you lose something, you should have a sense of gratitude, because normally when people lose something, they will focus all their energies, all their attention on what they have lost, and they will forget what they have. So when you lose something, remind yourself that I still have a lot. I have not lost everything. one of our songs say, count your blessings and name them one by one, and it will surprise you what God has done. So when you have lost, don't focus on the loss. Focus on what is remaining, what is left, what you have, and be grateful for that. Have a sense of gratitude. You have not lost everything. Then finally, is a sense of optimism, which is what this message was trying to encourage. That when you lose something, don't feel bad, because that loss could be a blessing in disguise. Even though at that point, it may not feel so. You may feel as if the world has come to an end. You may feel as if your case is terrible, but it's not true. That loss may be a blessing in disguise. I have known people that had a ton of fortunes after they have lost. After great losses, they had great promotion, great improvement. I have known people like that. For instance, I knew a friend who lost his house in fire incident. The fire gutted down everything. Everything he had worked for went up in flames. But do you know, he built and built back better. The house he built after the fire incident was better than the one that got it by fire. So it was a blessing in disguise. I have once lost a car and I replaced it with a bigger and better car. I also knew somebody that lost a wife and eventually he remarried. And the second wife was the woman that brought the best in him. He was able to realize his life's desires and ambition after the second wife. So yes, in a real sense, a loss could be a blessing. And it is true that a tree must shed its old leaf for new ones to come up. And when the new ones come, it is better for the tree. So that is the attitude with which I want you to enter the new year. While we trust God for a better year, a happier year, and while we continue to sing our song, no loss, no lack, no limitation, let us keep our mind open. And when the losses occur, let us still be positive and let us take the right attitude, and it is going to augur well with us. Thank you very much for giving me audience. I ask you to continue to keep faith with us and continue to shake on our channel. Bye bye.